Last month, a Toyota Camry owner in California went into a dealership for a routine oil change and walked out after paying $847 for services she never asked for and her car did not need. 2 weeks later, her engine started burning oil because of what they did. This is not rare anymore. In 2026, Toyota service centers across America are using tactics so sneaky that most owners never realize they have been scammed until the damage is already done. Today, I am exposing the 7 most dangerous scams happening right now at Toyota dealerships, and scam number 5 alone has cost drivers over $12,000 in unnecessary repairs. Watch until the end, because the final scam is so quiet, so calculated, that even mechanics miss it. Scam number 1, the sealed transmission flush deception. This is one of the most profitable scams I have seen, and it preys on a fundamental misunderstanding most Toyota owners have about their transmissions. Here is how it works. You bring your RAV4, Camry, or Highlander in for a simple oil change. The service advisor comes back with a concerned look and tells you your transmission fluid is dark, contaminated, and needs an immediate flush for $350 to $450. They might even show you a dipstick with brown fluid or a chart comparing your fluid to clean fluid. The pressure is immediate. They use words like catastrophic failure, total transmission replacement, and stranded on the highway. Most owners panic and approve the service. But here is what they are not telling you. Many modern Toyotas, especially models from 2015 onward, have sealed transmissions that Toyota specifically designed to never need a flush. The RAV4, Corolla, Camry, and Highlander hybrid models all use transmissions that are filled with lifetime fluid. Toyota's own maintenance schedule for these vehicles says nothing about transmission flushes at 30,000, 60,000, or even 100,000 miles. The fluid is not meant to be touched. When a shop forces a flush through a sealed transmission, they are doing something the engineers never intended. The high-pressure flush can dislodge debris that has been sitting harmlessly in the pan and push it into valves, solenoids, and clutch packs. Within weeks, owners start noticing rough shifting, delayed engagement, and slipping. The transmission that ran perfectly before the flush can now be damaged. When owners go back to complain, the dealership points to the brown fluid they showed you initially and says the transmission was already failing. They blame the problem on neglect, not the flush they just performed. I have seen this destroy transmissions that had 150,000 miles of smooth operation left in them. The protection is simple. Before approving any transmission service, pull out your owner's manual right there in the waiting room and find the maintenance schedule. If it does not list a transmission flush at your current mileage, ask why they are recommending it. A legitimate shop will explain. A scam shop will get defensive, avoid the manual, and push harder. If your Toyota has a sealed transmission, which most newer models do, the answer should always be no. Lifetime fluid means lifetime, not until a service advisor decides it looks dark. Scam number 2, the engine air filter and cabin filter double sale. This is a common scam that shows up at almost every oil change, and it is designed to seem small enough that you will not question it. You are sitting in the waiting area and the service advisor walks over holding 2 dirty filters. One is the engine air filter, covered in dust and debris. The other is the cabin filter, also filthy. They tell you both need replacing immediately. The engine filter affects performance and fuel economy. The cabin filter affects your health and your family's safety. Together, the replacement costs $120 to $180. It sounds reasonable. It is only filters, right? But here is the scam. Those filters they are holding often are not from your car. I have watched service centers keep a stash of old, genuinely dirty filters in the back just to show customers. They pull one from the pile, show it to you, and pressure you into paying for replacements. Then they either install cheap aftermarket filters and charge you genuine Toyota prices, or worse, they do not replace anything at all. The old filter goes right back in. You have paid for nothing. Even when the filters are actually from your car, the replacement interval is exaggerated. Toyota recommends changing the engine air filter every 30,000 to 45,000 miles, depending on driving conditions. The cabin filter is every 15,000 to 25,000 miles. Yet dealerships push replacements at every oil change, which for most people is every 5,000 to 10,000 miles. That is 3 to 6 times more often than necessary. The markup is insane too. A genuine Toyota engine air filter costs about $15 to $25 online or at an auto parts store. Dealerships charge $60 to $90 for the same part. The cabin filter costs $12 to $20. They charge $50 to $80. Installation for both takes less than 5 minutes total. No tools required. You can do it yourself in a parking lot. Yet they are charging $40 to $60 in labor for something a child could do. Here is how to protect yourself. When they show you a dirty filter, ask to see exactly where they pulled it from. A legitimate technician will take you to your car and show you. A scam artist will refuse or make excuses. Better yet, check your filters yourself before you even arrive. Pop the hood, unlatch the air filter box, and take a photo. Do the same with the cabin filter, which is usually behind the glove box. If the dealership says your filters are shot, but your photos show they are clean, you have caught them. And never approve filter replacements without seeing the mileage-based recommendation in your owner's manual first. Scam number 3 is the nitrogen tire fill upsell. This one sounds high-tech and scientific, which is exactly why it works. After your service is done, the advisor may tell you your tires are filled with regular air, which contains moisture and causes uneven pressure. They recommend switching to nitrogen, saying it is what NASCAR and aircraft use. They claim it keeps tire pressure stable, improves fuel economy, extends tire life, and enhances safety. The cost is usually $60 to $120 for all 4 tires. It is presented as an upgrade, a smart investment in your vehicle's performance. Here is the truth. Regular air is already 78% nitrogen. The difference between regular air and pure nitrogen in a passenger vehicle tire is so negligible that independent studies show zero measurable benefit in fuel economy, tire wear, or pressure stability for normal driving conditions. Consumer Reports tested this extensively and found that nitrogen offers no advantage for everyday drivers. The pressure in nitrogen-filled tires drops at nearly the same rate as air-filled tires. The fuel economy difference is non-existent. Tire life is identical. The only real benefit of nitrogen appears in extreme environments, like racetracks where tires reach 200+ degrees, or in aircraft where altitude changes are massive. Your daily commute does not create those conditions. Even if nitrogen did provide a tiny benefit, maintaining it is impractical. Every time you add air to a tire at a gas station, you dilute the nitrogen with regular air. Within a few top-offs, an expensive nitrogen fill becomes just regular air again. The scam gets worse. Most dealerships do not even have nitrogen generators. They are filling your tires with regular air and charging you for nitrogen anyway. There is no way for you to verify it. Nitrogen is colorless, odorless, and behaves like air. You are paying for nothing. Save your money. Regular air works perfectly. Check your tire pressure monthly with a $10 gauge. Keep it at the pounds per square inch listed on your door jamb, and you will get every bit of performance and safety your tires were designed to provide. Scam number 4 is the fuel system cleaning service push. This is one of the most common upsells I see at Toyota dealerships, and it is almost never necessary. They tell you your fuel system has carbon buildup, clogged injectors, or dirty intake valves that are robbing your engine of power and efficiency. The proposed solution is a fuel system cleaning service that runs chemicals through the fuel rails and the intake. The cost is usually from $150 to $250. They make it sound urgent. Your engine is struggling, fuel economy is suffering, performance is down. Here is what they do not tell you. Modern Toyota engines, especially those built after 2015, are designed with direct injection and port injection systems that minimize carbon buildup. The fuel Toyota recommends, any top-tier gasoline from brands like Shell, Chevron, or Costco, already contains detergents that keep injectors and valves clean. If you are using top-tier fuel and following the maintenance schedule, carbon buildup is not an issue for the first 100,000 to 150,000 miles. The fuel system cleaning service dealerships push is almost always premature. The real red flag is when they recommend it without any symptoms. If your Camry is idling smoothly, accelerating normally, and getting the same fuel economy it always has, there is no carbon problem. They are selling you a solution to a problem that does not exist. Even when carbon buildup is real, usually in high-mileage direct injection engines, the dealership service rarely fixes it properly. True carbon cleaning requires walnut blasting, a process that physically removes deposits from the intake valves. The chemical spray service they are selling does nothing for valve deposits. It is theater. If your Toyota genuinely needs fuel system cleaning, you will know it. The engine will idle rough, hesitate on acceleration, or throw misfire codes. A proper diagnosis with a scan tool will show misfires on specific cylinders. That is when cleaning makes sense. Until then, save your $200 and put it toward premium top-tier fuel, which prevents the problem in the first place. Scam number 5. The battery test and replacement racket. This scam is particularly brutal because it exploits fear and targets owners when their car is already at the dealership. Here is the setup. You bring your Highlander or Tundra in for routine service. During the inspection, the technician runs a battery test and finds your battery weak, failing, or at risk of leaving you stranded. They recommend immediate replacement for $250 to $350. They might even print out a test result showing your battery scored poorly. The pressure is intense. Nobody wants to be stranded, and nobody wants to risk a dead battery in a parking lot or on a road trip, so most people approve the replacement. But here is what is really happening. Battery test results can be manipulated. A battery that has been sitting in a cold service bay for hours, or one that is slightly discharged from running accessories while parked, will test poorly even if it is perfectly healthy. A technician can also run the test incorrectly, load testing a battery that has not been fully charged first, which guarantees a bad result. The real scam is the price. A quality replacement battery for most Toyotas costs $120 to $180 at an auto parts store like AutoZone or Advance Auto. Dealerships charge $250 to $400 for the same battery. Installation takes 5 minutes. They are charging $80 to $120 in labor for loosening 2 bolts. Even worse, many dealerships install cheaper aftermarket batteries and charge genuine Toyota prices. You think you are getting an original equipment manufacturer battery with a long warranty, but you are actually getting a budget unit that will fail in 3 years instead of 5. I have also seen dealerships replace batteries that had nothing wrong with them. A battery that tests at 80% capacity still has years of life left. It does not need replacement until it drops below 50% or starts causing starting issues. But service advisors are trained to push replacement at the first sign of anything less than perfect. Here is your defense. If they say your battery is bad, ask for the printed test results. Check the cold cranking amp rating, the voltage, and the percentage. A healthy battery should show 12.4 to 12.7 volts when rested and hold above 9.6 volts under load. If it meets those numbers, your battery is fine. Also ask when the battery was last replaced and check the date code on the battery itself. Most batteries last 4 to 6 years. If yours is only 2 or 3 years old and they are pushing replacement, that is a red flag. Better yet, buy a $25 battery tester on Amazon and check it yourself before you even visit the dealership. Knowledge is your best protection against this scam. Scam number 6, the coolant flush interval lie. Coolant service is one of the easiest scams for dealerships to pull because most owners have no idea how long coolant actually lasts. You are told that your coolant is old, contaminated, or breaking down, and it needs a complete flush and fill for $150 to $200. They will say it is overdue, that it is part of the 30,000 or 60,000 mile service, and that old coolant can cause overheating or engine damage. Most people trust them and approve it. But here is the truth. Toyota does not want repeated too loudly. Most Toyotas built after 2010 use long-life pink or red coolant that is designed to last 100,000 miles or 10 years before the first change. After that, it is every 50,000 miles or 5 years. Check your owner's manual. The maintenance schedule is printed right there. For a 2020 Camry with 40,000 miles, the coolant has another 60,000 miles of life left. There is no reason to touch it, yet dealerships routinely recommend coolant flushes at 30,000, 60,000, and 90,000 miles, intervals that have nothing to do with Toyota engineering. They are not following the manual. They are following a profit script. The test they use to justify the flush is also misleading. They will show you a color chart or use test strips that measure pH or freeze protection. But color alone does not indicate coolant failure. Pink coolant naturally darkens over time without losing effectiveness, and freeze protection rarely degrades in modern coolant formulas. The test strips they wave around are often reading parameters that do not matter or that are still within acceptable range. Even when coolant does eventually need changing, a flush is not always necessary. A simple drain and fill, where old coolant is drained and new coolant is added, costs half as much and works perfectly fine for most Toyotas. The high-pressure flush they are selling adds complexity, risk, and cost without meaningful benefit. Protect yourself by knowing your coolant service interval before you arrive. Write it down. When they recommend a flush, ask them to show you in the owner's manual where it says it is due. If they cannot, walk away. Your cooling system will be fine and you will save $200. Scam number 7 is the brake fluid exchange con. Brake fluid service is one of the quietest, most accepted scams in the industry because it sounds so safety critical. You are told that brake fluid absorbs moisture over time, which lowers its boiling point and reduces braking performance. The solution is a brake fluid exchange, typically $100 to $150. It is positioned as preventive maintenance, something responsible owners do to protect their families. And because it involves brakes, most people do not question it. But here is what they are not saying. Toyota recommends brake fluid replacement every 20,000 to 30,000 miles only if you are using the vehicle in severe conditions, like towing, racing, or driving in mountainous terrain. For normal driving, many Toyotas do not require brake fluid replacement until 50,000 to 60,000 miles or longer. Some models have no specific interval at all. It is a conditional service, meaning it is only needed if the fluid tests bad. Yet dealerships push brake fluid exchanges at every major service interval regardless of mileage, driving conditions, or actual fluid condition. They rarely test the fluid. They just assume it is bad or use scare tactics about moisture contamination. Even when moisture is present, it has to reach significant levels before it affects braking. A simple $10 test strip can measure moisture content in seconds. If the fluid tests below 3% moisture, it is fine. Above 4%, replacement makes sense. but most dealerships skip the test entirely and sell you the service anyway. The scam gets worse when you realize how they are doing it. A proper brake fluid exchange involves bleeding the system at all 4 wheels until clean fluid runs through. Some shops take shortcuts. They will only bleed 1 or 2 wheels, leaving old fluid in the rest of the system, or they will add new fluid on top of the old without removing any, which does nothing. You have paid for a service that was not performed correctly. Here is how to protect yourself. Before approving brake fluid service, ask them to test the fluid and show you the result. If they cannot or will not, that tells you everything. Also check your maintenance schedule. If you are under the recommended interval and driving normally, you do not need it. And if they insist it is overdue, ask for documentation showing where Toyota says it is due. Real maintenance follows the manual, not the service advisor's sales quota. The deadliest scam is the inspection upsell avalanche. This scam combines every other scam into one overwhelming sales assault, and it happens every day at Toyota dealerships across the country. Here is how it works. You come in for something simple, an oil change, a tire rotation, or a recall fix. While your car is in the bay, the technician performs a complimentary multi-point inspection. It sounds helpful, it sounds thorough, but it is not a favor. It is a sales tool. 20 minutes later, the service advisor comes out with a printed inspection sheet covered in red marks, yellow warnings, and urgent recommendations. Your brakes are at 30% and need replacement soon. Your tires are wearing unevenly and should be rotated or replaced. The air filter is dirty, the cabin filter is clogged, the battery tested weak, the coolant is discolored. Suddenly, your $60 oil change has turned into a $1,200 list of immediate and upcoming services. You are overwhelmed. You did not expect this. The advisor stands there looking concerned, talking about safety, reliability, and protecting your investment. Most owners feel cornered. They approve at least some work, even if they are not sure it is necessary, because saying no feels risky. What if they are right? What if something fails? That fear is the weapon. Here is the truth. Most of those inspection findings are exaggerated, premature, or fabricated. Brake pads listed at 30% often have 50% or more left. Tires marked for replacement still have plenty of tread. Batteries that tested weak are actually fine. I have had customers bring me inspection sheets from Toyota dealerships, and when I put the same car on my lift, everything checks out perfectly. The inspection is not checking your car's health, it is testing your wallet's tolerance. The mechanics behind this are simple. Service advisors are paid on commission. The more services they sell, the more money they make. Technicians are often incentivized the same way. The inspection sheet is not a diagnostic tool, it is a sales script. They are trained to find something wrong on every car because a car with no recommendations does not generate revenue. They mark things yellow or red not because they are failing, but because they are approaching a point where they could theoretically be sold. The psychology is brutal. Once they have listed 5 or 6 things, even if you decline most of them, you will approve 1 or 2 just to feel responsible. That is the goal. Get you to say yes to something, anything. Because once you approve one upsell, you are more likely to approve the next one at your next visit. Here is your protection. Never approve services on the spot. Take the inspection sheet home. Get a second opinion from an independent mechanic you trust, someone who is not paid on commission. Better yet, learn to inspect the basics yourself. Brake pad thickness is visible through the wheel. Tire tread depth can be checked with a penny. Battery voltage takes a $10 multimeter. Air filters take 30 seconds to pop out and look at. The more you know, the harder it is for them to deceive you. And if a dealership consistently finds problems that other mechanics say do not exist, stop going there. Your Toyota does not need a dealership that treats every visit like a sales opportunity. It needs maintenance based on the manual, not the service department's monthly quota. If you have watched this far, you now know more about Toyota service center scams than 95% of owners walking through those doors. The difference between losing thousands of dollars and keeping your money is simply knowledge. These scams work because they rely on trust, fear, and confusion. But once you understand the tactics, once you know what to look for and what questions to ask, they lose all their power. Protect yourself. Follow your owner's manual, not the service advisor. Get second opinions. Learn the basics. And never let urgency or pressure force you into approving services you do not understand. Your Toyota was built to last 200,000 miles or more with basic, honest maintenance. Do not let a scam shorten that life or empty your wallet. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like it, subscribe, and share it with every Toyota owner you know. The next video exposes the 3 questions you must ask a Toyota service advisor before approving any repair. It could save you thousands.